So today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I wanted to make a product highlight of something that I recently just got my hands on, and it's going to be this holster right here, which is the Blade Tech Valor duty holster. So this holster was sent to me by Blade Tech, and I wanted to test it out because I've been looking for an alternative to my Safariland for a very long time now. And the main reason for that is I wanted to have a holster that was more accommodating when it comes to optic choice on my pistols. And for somebody that runs M&Ps, my optic choices are very limited. But I'm gonna dive into that a little bit further into the video. But what I wanted to do is just give my initial impressions, and what I'm going to do later on, probably in a few months, is give my full review of this holster. But I just gotta give you guys a heads up right now. I really like what Blade Tech is doing with this holster. It seems like Blade Tech decided to actually sit down and think about what they could do differently to help innovate and push the market into a certain direction. Before we get too far in this video, I wanna let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Barbell Apparel. And I wanna let you guys know that on their website, all of their pants, joggers, and jeans are only $99. And on top of that, they have their Black Friday deals going, which is 20% off site-wide. I know I've said it before, but Barbell truly is one of my favorite clothing companies outside of them being a channel sponsor, because I can wear their clothes at the range and while I go out. I recently got married, and on our honeymoon, my wife pointed out to me that half of the stuff in my suitcase was Barbell. And that's no accident. I'm a complete sucker for their flannels, and I really love how all their pants and jeans are really stretchy. It's really cool hearing that you guys are starting to buy their stuff because of my recommendation, and you're really enjoying their products. I'll probably make a video dedicated to some of the clothes that I wear to the range, but as of right now, it's pretty simple and it's pretty obvious. I wear a lot of Barbell stuff. So if you're interested in partaking in their Black Friday deals or on their pants sales, I'll leave the link down below, and do me a favor, let them know that I sent you. All right, back to the video. So yeah, let's go into a quick breakdown of this holster and why I'm liking it so much. So how did I get this holster? Earlier this year, I saw that Blade Tech released this holster for the Glock and the SIG, and I didn't really think anything of it at the time. I wasn't really sure what this holster was, but then I started seeing glimpses of it on YouTube, and I was liking what I was seeing. So I reached out to Blade Tech and I asked them when they would be making an M&P holster. And funny enough, the sales rep messaged me back and he said, we're actually dropping it in 3 weeks. Once those 3 weeks passed, I reached back out to them and they ended up sending me a holster right here for the M&P 9. And like I said before, I've been really impressed. So looking at the build quality of this, it's built really well. In my Safarilands, there's a little bit of play, but when I put it in this holster, it feels like the gun and the holster become one. I can't move the gun. There's no wobble unless I pull the gun out. Oh, by the way, gun is clear. So that's something that was new to me. I didn't really have an issue with the Safarilands. I felt like those were pretty secure, but this feels like the tolerances are very tight, which really surprised me because I'm gonna go into the modularity of the holster later on in the video, but because of how many things you can swap out on this holster, I would think there'd be a little bit more play, but no, this holster is very well built. It feels like a tank, and I'm sure it's gonna hold up just as well as the Safariland in the long run, but I can't say anything definitively, like I said earlier, because I've only had it for a few weeks. So just like other duty rated holsters, the retention is hanging on to the ejection port of your pistol. So you do get strong retention on this holster, and I haven't done any extensive stress tests by pulling on it, but again, I don't really treat my holsters nice, and I don't want to say I holster hard, but I holster with a purpose, and I've had 0 hiccups. So just like other duty holsters, because the retention is on the ejection port, you're able to configure your pistol any way you like. So right now I have an X300 on here, and it holds very tight, even when I have the hood off. And then if I use something that doesn't have a light, like this other M&P, which I have some content coming up for this one because I'm still working on it. I'm changing a lot of things on this one, and I think you guys are gonna be really excited with what happens with this pistol. But even with this one, no X300 light on it, goes in there just fine. And because I have a threaded barrel, it does stick out on the end right there, but I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, even with this other 5-inch, no issues there. And then I also have my carry gun here, and this is a 4¼ inch. So the 4¼ inch fits in there perfectly fine, no issues, no light. So yeah, you're able to swap out what pistol you are holding in the moment. I'm just gonna put this over here for now when using this holster. Something that I find really interesting is that this holster isn't light specific. So if you go into Blade Tech's website, it will show you all the lights that fit inside the Valor holster based off of what pistol you have. Now, I wanna talk about drawing from this holster. Obviously, whenever you get a new holster, there's gonna be a learning curve when trying to get a consistent draw stroke. So when I first got this holster and started dry firing, I was having trouble getting the gun out in an efficient manner, but that wasn't because the holster was holding me back. It was just I wasn't used to this interface. So as you can see, you have a optic hood, you do have another level of retention right there, and then you have the button. I'm a huge fan of the button that they put on this holster because it seems like it's spring loaded to the optic hood and the retention system. And instead of it being mechanical, it's pretty much automatic. So after you've released the optic shot and the retention system, all you have to do is just pull back just like a Safariland and your gun will be free. And I think this is very intuitive because yes, it is a two-step process because it's a level 2, but it feels like a one-step process just because of how easy it is. I'm not going down, forward, and back. I'm literally just going down, back, and my gun comes out. .118 in the alpha. .119 in the alpha. This thing's so fast. Taking this out to the range, I did find that my draw stroke was a lot faster and consistent than when using a Safariland. Obviously, with practice, no matter what holster you have, you're gonna be fast. But again, I've only had this for about 2 weeks, and I was able to get a purchase on my pistol and get out of the holster faster than my Safariland. Now, this next topic that I'm gonna cover isn't specifically about the holster itself, but it's about what Blade Tech offers to the industry. And that's their Tek-Mount System. I recently made a story about how I converted all of my Safariland connection points to the Tek-Mount. And this is because the Tek-Mount is very robust and it gives you something that the Safariland doesn't do as well. When you want to change the position of your Safariland, you have to unscrew everything, adjust your holster, screw it back in, and hopefully it's right. If it's not, then you have to take the belt back off, do the same thing. With the Tek-Lock system, it is in a circle, as you see right here. The receiver is also in a circular pattern. So if I want to drop this in just like so, I'm locked in, right? But the cool thing about the Tek-Lock is you can adjust your cant on the fly. If I want the gun to be further back, I just have to push the button that's on there, and now I have the gun canted all the way down. And you get a complete 360-degree adjustment on the Tek-Mount system. So I think the Tek-Mount system is really, really cool because I like having mine pretty neutral like this. And that's where I get my most consistent draws and where I feel most comfortable clearing my holster. But I really think that is something that not a lot of other companies are able to do or have done. Yeah, I think I'm gonna convert everything to that over time once I have a little bit more funds to adjust things. Now, the biggest reason to why I really like this holster is obviously it's built well. The Tek-Mount system is really cool. The draw stroke is really fast, but the holster is modular. Now, when you buy like a Safariland, you have to order the exact model and exact configuration that you want. Once you have it, you can't really change anything, which is why a lot of people end up modding their holsters depending on the configuration of their pistol that they have. So the cool thing about the Valor holster is that it is completely modular. Right now, I have it configured to how I like it, but if I were to change something on my pistol, like I were to go with an enclosed red dot that is a lot taller, you can actually go onto Blade Tech's website and buy a different optic hood that will accommodate for a larger optic. And that's not where it stops. On the front, I have it slick because that's just how I wanted it for now. But you can actually buy another faceplate and put a mini Tek-Mount plate right here so you can run a tourniquet, or you can even put another mag if you wanted to right there and run that on the front of your holster. On the bottom here, which is why I was talking about this pistol, as you see, it sticks out just a little bit on the bottom. but you can buy an end cap on their website and it'll give you an extension to where it covers pistol comps or other longer modifications that you may have on your pistol. And I think that's so cool that you can continue to adjust your holster to your needs. Now, on the back here, you'll see that this is a level 2 holster, meaning that there's 2 motions I have to make to get the gun out of my holster. But if I wanted to make this a level 3, I could just buy the level 3 part, undo these screws, and have a shroud that goes over this release button. And I can go on and on about all the different things you can do to this holster, but you're not stuck with just what you buy. You can change things around or remove things that you may feel unnecessary at the time. And I think that in of itself is the reason why I'm probably going to be rocking this holster for the long haul. If everything holds up and nothing breaks after extended use in competitions or just, you know, general purpose use, then I don't see me getting another Safariland because, you know, this holster will be able to run all my different guns. Now, they only have this gun available for Glocks, SIGs, and M&Ps, but I'm sure they're gonna expand on gun compatibility over time. But yeah, this is the Blade Tech Valor Duty holster. If you're interested in it, they have it available on their website. Like I said, it's for Glock, M&P, and SIG as of right now. It's not the cheapest holster out there, and the more you add on to it, the more the price kind of skyrockets. But I really think it's worth the price, you know, since you're only gonna really need to buy one and configure it over time. This will probably be my primary holster going down the line for further videos and content, so you guys will see more of it for sure. If anything breaks, I'll make sure to make an update. If anything goes wrong, or if I have to get things changed around to, you know, fit different pistols and stuff like that, then I will let you guys know. But as of right now, I really don't think there's gonna be any issues with this holster. I don't see anything wrong with it. It feels very robust. There's no play. It feels like a tank. And I just really like it. I really like how it feels. I like the innovation that went into it. And I think that Blade Tech has done something that a lot of other companies don't really do nowadays, and that's just listen to their consumer base. I really do think this is probably one of the best options out there when it comes to duty holsters. I wouldn't say, you know, for competition, this is the best option, but it doesn't really hold you back. In my opinion, I feel like I'm pretty quick with it so far. But if you guys have any more questions, I'll definitely be answering some questions in the comment section below, because this is just a first impressions. It's not a full review, and I want to answer as many questions as I can regarding this holster. Well, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is a holster that you think you will pick up in the future, or is it a pass and you just want to stick with your Safariland, which is still a great option? But that's all I have for you guys today. As always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.